In previous video, I introduced you to Vue framework, to Vue ecosystem, and in this video, we are going to talk about Vue use cases. There are two main use cases of the Vue framework. The first one is a progressive one. That means if you have an existing website, let's say you have a WordPress website, and you want to implement some additional functionality in your WordPress, then you can actually develop a Vue application and then inject your Vue application in the WordPress website. The second one is if you don't have an existing website and you want to start implementing a single page application from scratch, then you will use a Vue ecosystem to develop your application. What's really important, I will cover both of these cases in this course, so you will know how and when to use those, but most of the time you will implement a single page application using a Vue ecosystem. But let's see both of these use cases in details. The first one is when you want to inject a Vue application in your website. In most of these cases, it's going to be a simple application. And although you can use other libraries, for example, you can use a Vuex library, you will probably not use, because this is going to be a simple application most of the time, and you will have approximately 20 to 30 components. So you will try to keep it small and simple most of the time, although it can be a bigger application, but most of the time it's going to be really small and simple application. This is how does it look. So you have an existing website that contains a menu, left navigation, and content. And in these right two blank boxes, you want to implement some additional functionality. So what you can do is you can implement, let's say, chat as a Vue application. You can implement top products as a Vue application, and then just inject those Vue applications in your existing website. So this is the first use case. The second use case is when you want to build a bit more advanced single page applications, then you can use Vue Ecosystem in order to create your application. Let's check that in details. In this case, you will probably use most of the Vue Ecosystem libraries together with a lot of other libraries. One library that you will definitely need is a Vue router if you want that your users are able to navigate through different pages and then go back in a browser. And normally you will use this approach to implement a bit bigger projects. That's also important to mention here. This is how that looks like. So your application will consist of several different components. So you will implement menu as a component, left navigation as component, content, chat, and top products as components as well. And then you will just glue these components together so they form your application. Now that we know two main use cases of the Vue framework, let's take a short break before we start installing the Vue framework and implementing our first Hello World application.